Let me just start off by saying that if you have big, giant, bushy, hairy armpits, make sure to not wear like muscle shirts out in public. That doesn't need to be all up in people's faces. Nobody needs to see your braided armpit hairs or that bushy fro popping out. Like if it's a style choice, if you're just going with a natural look, I guess you could just wear like shirts with sleeves on them or a long sleeve. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. Just think of the people around you, okay? Think of humanity. Anyways, all jokes aside, people are crazy nowadays. Let's get straight into today's video. I will say, I feel like I don't even have time to pause. I don't feel like I have time to rest and just chill and kick back because McFarlane is, I mean, he's going all out here. This is his final year with the DC Multiverse line or just DC in general. We know that he has a lot of different sublines, whether it's the collector's edition line, whether it's, you know, the Powers line or whatever the case may be, the Page Punchers, the DC Multiverse, the DC Direct. Like, he has so much going on, and at the moment, he is just throwing everything at the wall. He's making sure that he can get as many reveals or releases within this last year because he realizes, number one, not only is he losing the license, but he's also not going to be able to capitalize on the name brand, right, of DC. Like, that's really big. I think it was a great opportunity for him to pick up the license. He kind of became a household name. I don't think before that he was as big, but now people know him. Like, hey, that's the guy that had the DC Multiverse line. Hopefully he continues to make great figures. You know, in the latest live stream, they did talk a little bit about the TMNT action figures as well as the new classic Mortal Kombat figures that are right around the corner. So that's obviously great for him. And I'm hoping that this is just kind of like a good foundation, you know, a good building block for him to really jump into the collector universe, because I feel like for the longest time, I think he does have the capability to do it. As much as I criticize him from time to time, when he is on his game, he releases absolute bangers. And today there are a few figures in here that I've already kind of touched on, but I decided to kind of you know, mention them a little bit here because this was, I guess, the official reveal. I will say that's one of the bigger issues that I have with McFarlane. Even though I love this live stream and I love this setup, the fact that he's like actually connecting with the community and like throwing it all out there at the same time, I don't understand why all of this stuff is being like revealed or leaked by other sources. This should be like the place that you go to get all of your reveals. I've already made a number of different videos where I already mentioned some of these figures, whether it was because somebody had them at like Toy Fair or somebody photographed them at Toy Fair, or if it was like overseas leaks or things of that nature, or just like promotional images that were being released through social media. So I feel like if he's going to reveal something, everything should be saved for the showcase. Very few things should leak out before that. But anyways, let's get straight into the most exciting reveal. I don't know if it's the most exciting, but it's definitely a really good opportunity for people. And we're looking at the Killer Croc and Grim Knight 2-pack. And look, I haven't really read this particular comic book series. This is from the new, I'm assuming from the new DC, what is it, the DC Death Metal line. And I do remember the original Grim Knight, and I was kind of frustrated with him. You know, he didn't really come with a lot of accessories. I'm hoping that because this is a 2-pack, that Grim Knight comes with everything that you'd expect. Like some of those weapons that we saw for the Berserker action figure, I'm hoping those make the crossover and Grim Knight actually has some weaponry, unless he's just gonna make you buy like his weapons accessory, which, you know, I'm not a huge fan of. You have to pay for shipping, and you know, you can't really, there's no minimum for free shipping and things of that nature, and it also sells out incredibly fast. So I would love to see this included with a ton of different accessories, a ton of different weapons, even if the price point is a little bit higher. I will say with Killer Croc, I was kind of trying to study what it is that's different here. I think they're just swapping out the forearms and then the lower legs, because the video game version did have a like some shackles or something on the wrists and then some shackles down around the ankle area. So I think they just swapped those out, gave it a new head sculpt, and then a completely different paint job. I really like this particular color. This is kind of like my prototypical vision of Killer Croc. So this 2-pack is phenomenal. As I said, people that didn't pick up Grim Knight the first time, they can now pick him up, and then you can pick up like a more classic version of Killer Croc if you're interested. I'm gonna guess the price point. I'm gonna say it's about $70, because that's usually what we're getting with 2-packs nowadays, which is, I know, kind of a hefty price point, but it could be 60, but I'm gonna lean more towards $70. But at least you're getting that big deluxe figure. and I'm hoping Grim Knight comes with a ton of accessories as well. And then we are getting a Jeremy Irons Alfred. I don't know why this exists. I mean, maybe there's a lot of people out there that loved like Snyderverse or the old DC cinematic universe. Personally, it is what it is for me. I don't understand how we're getting all of these random Alfreds, but we don't have a classic like comic book accurate Alfred. It is what it is. I would have even taken a Michael Caine Alfred at this point, but Alfred is necessary for multiple different displays. I just don't know why they would lean in this deep into a very specific source material. Like, this is only for people that are collecting that small little time frame of the DC cinematic universe, and I think it's an absolute shame considering we don't have like an Alfred, just like an in general Alfred that can fit into like multiple different displays. Maybe something from like the Silver Age, which I know we're getting a lot of different Silver Age characters, whether it's Dr. Fate or Two-Face, who I've already talked about. I know they were kind of revealed at this little live stream event, but I already made a couple of videos and talked a little bit about them. But I think that's great. I think the fact that we're getting more Silver Age versions of characters, I absolutely love it, and I think Alfred would definitely be perfect here. But if you're interested in this particular Alfred, he will be going up for pre-order shortly here. We also got a closer look at a couple of 1/6 scale Marvel statues. We're looking at the Spider-Man based on that 2020 or 223 cover, and then we're looking at a beautiful Punisher statue. I will say I love both of these statues, especially that Spider-Man one. It has like some sculpted in tentacles that are coming for Spider-Man. I will say I think this was a huge missed opportunity, because this could have been like, it could have been like a solo piece that just can be displayed by itself, but it also could fit in as maybe like a cohesive statue that goes together, that ports in together with like a Doc Ock, so it can essentially become like a fighting scene instead of it just being one singular statue. So I think at least give people the option to have these on their own in their shelves, or like intertwined or connected somehow. Maybe the bases connect and it creates a little bit of a battle scene. I would have loved something like that, but still, this is really, both of them are from really iconic comic book covers, and if you guys are interested, this one is definitely very interesting. As I said, 1/6 scale, so these usually, I think if I'm not mistaken, they were going for about $40. I think now they're probably going to pop up to about $50. But so if you guys are interested, both of them are iconic. They look great. I will say people might be getting a little bit fatigued with Spider-Man, because we've received so many different statues, whether it's in the 1/10 scale or the 1/6 scale. Well, I think this may be like the 5th or 6th Spider-Man statue. So, if you guys are getting a little bit fatigued, I'm there with you, but I think we should be patient. We're definitely getting more and more characters. We've been getting X-Men, Captain America, we've been getting Hulk. He's actually going through some variations here, but as I said, hopefully we start to get maybe more villains. I would love to see more of the Spider-Man villains. I know we had Green Goblin, but I think as time goes by, he's definitely going to give us more and more Spidey villains, especially considering he's already given us so many Spider-Man statues. And then I already talked about the Jim Gordon action figure in a previous video, but I'll still kind of reference it. You're going to be looking at a year 1 Jim Gordon as well as a year 1 Batman. Both of them look phenomenal. I know that year 1 Batman is probably just going to reuse a body. It's going to have a wired cape and then reuse a bunch of batarangs. And I will say at this point, I get it. We all get it. He's probably not going to give us any new accessories. The sculpts are probably not going to be brand new. There's going to be a ton of reuse, a ton of just repaints. And I get it, and at least he's giving the people something, some of the things that they want. Like Grim Knight is a perfect example. Like, people actually wanted a Grim Knight. For a long period of time, I think the original release of Grim Knight was like, I think I saw him for as high as like 140. So people definitely want this figure in their display, and he's going to be able to kind of cash in because he can, add another figure in there, make it a 2-pack. People have been wanting a classic Killer Croc with different color schemes, and that's exactly what he's doing. And same thing here, he's giving people a year 1 Batman. I get it if this is something that you feel like you need to skip on, but I think Jim Gordon, with all due respect to people that are saying that this is just a bunch of reuse from Constantine, which I completely get. I mean, the entire body mold may just be reused with a different head sculpt and maybe different hands, I'm not sure. This is mostly reused, but this is a character that we have to have in our displays. I mean, if you're a Batman guy, if you collect Batman action figures in general, why not have at least one Jim Gordon? And I feel like he fits into multiple different displays. I know, he doesn't necessarily fit into like the old school dioramas and collections, but I definitely feel like he is, a Jim Gordon that can fit into like as far back as Silver Age to even some of the newer versions or iterations. I mean, Jim Gordon has a pretty consistent look. He has the trench coat, the glasses, you know what I mean? He fits in, and I absolutely love Jim Gordon here. Now, as I said, there were other figures that were talked about or revealed that we had already kind of touched on, whether it was Hot Girl or Dr. Fate. Both figures that I've already mentioned. Hot Girl is going to be in the collector's edition line, and then Dr. Fate is going to be a part of the digital wave. Same thing with Two-Face. But as I said, I already talked about those incessantly. I love both of those, actually all three of the reveals, but definitely Two-Face and Dr. Fate, two classic iterations of those characters. You're getting a wired cape with Dr. Fate, and then Two-Face, which, I mean, what can I say about it? It's a classic Batman villain. And if we're getting so many different Batmans, I know people complain about it. This is exactly what we want, right? We want more Batman villains, and he's giving us that on his last year with the multiverse line. And then I'm sorry if I'm not excited about the last two reveals here. We're talking about the Jim Carrey Batman Forever Riddler. I get it. There's a lot of people out there that have this nostalgia bone inside of them. They have this nostalgia itch, and the only way to scratch it is to get these type of figures. And let's be brutally honest, there's a DC multiverse out there where Jim Carrey is the Batman because he said it, right? Like, if there is a character that claims he's Batman, like there's an alternate universe for that. I don't know. Look, here's the thing about it. I never was a fan of the film. Even as a kid, I would watch it and I would like be angry. I would kind of hate myself for watching the film. Like, that's how bad it was. And I even knew it as a tiny little 5-year-old. So I haven't really been too into this line, even though, as I said, it calls back to my childhood. I remember watching this with my siblings and, just enjoying the heck out of it, but I felt guilty afterwards. It just didn't feel right. And, if you're into it, great. This is just one of those that I've kind of stayed away from. And then we have Cowboy Batman. Don't ask me where this is from. I have no idea. I'm sure that there was like an Elseworld storyline where Batman was a cowboy and was like milking cows and milking goats, I guess. I don't even know if you milk goats or, how that entire situation works. I don't even know why people are drinking milk out of animals. That's kind of a weird thing, especially from goats. But look, here's the thing. Batman was a cowboy at one point and people were way into it enough to get an action figure. I don't know who was asking for this, but if you were, now you can get this particular figure. As I said, McFarlane is probably just going to use the heck out of any body mold that he has and just, pour it on new head sculpts. I will say this kind of works, and I'm going to guess, I don't know this for a fact, but that jacket is probably from Captain Boomerang. It's that wired little jacket that he was wearing back in the day. Funny story, I actually found this figure in store, the Captain Boomerang, not this Cowboy Batman, but I was actually going to pick it up. And I'm not even kidding you guys, the wired cape or the wired jacket was actually missing. Like, somebody bought this figure, took the wired jacket, and then returned it, which I think is like a really dirty move, I guess. I mean, it's not as bad as figure swapping, but still, you robbed a wired cape. I mean, how amazing do you feel? And I will say, whoever accepted this return, like whatever Target employee just scanned it and said, here's your money back, what an absolute buffoon. How do you not know that Captain Boomerang has a wired cape? Okay, I feel like it's common knowledge. Anyways, all jokes aside, guys, there you guys have it. It was a pretty incredible stream. And a lot of this stuff is stuff that I'm genuinely excited for. I'm looking forward to. I think, McFarlane is going out with a bang. I said it a few videos ago, and I'll continue saying it. I'll continue screaming it from the top of my lungs. I think McFarlane is going to give us absolute bangers. And even though it's not all great, I mean, there's like Riddler, action figure, and Cowboy Batman. I mean, do we really need that? Maybe not, but it's just McFarlane is being like creative here. He's being genuine. He's trying to kind of, he's still trying to stay on budget. He's trying to stay on the same level as he's always been, trying to reuse body molds and accessory pieces. But at the same time, he's still giving consumers what they want. And I think that's pretty cool. So even though this wasn't like 100% like, home runs, I think most of these were really, really good reveals, and there are things to get excited about. I know this is bittersweet. I know most of us are really sad because this is the end of the McFarlane run with DC Multiverse, but at the same time, we should be excited for the future. This is a new era. We're entering a time frame where McFarlane is going to make more Mortal Kombat action figures, and he's going to pick up the TMNT line. I'm excited. I don't know what they're going to look like. I don't know if they're going to be any good, but it's still an exciting proposition. And if you're an action figure collector, I definitely feel like you should be optimistic. But there you guys have it. If you guys enjoyed today's video, you guys should definitely stick around. I probably upload maybe like 5 times. I'm trying to upload 5 times on a weekly basis. Make sure to stay safe out there. Let me know down below in the comment section which action figure you're the most excited about, which reveal really got you going. How do you think this last year for McFarlane will go? Very curious to see what the community has to say. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and as always, make sure to enjoy the hobby. Pose your action figures, photograph them, do whatever it is that you like doing with your figures. Just enjoy them, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.